Last day of 2025 before the new year, before we go into 2026, and there's something happening on the altcoin sector that you need to watch out for. Altcoins are about to break out, so you need to pay attention to this signal before the move happen. And I think when alt season starts, we are going to go parabolic. So before you start jumping in late, you must pay attention to this analysis. So before I continue with the chart, do make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and also turn on the notification icon so that whenever I upload another crypto price update, you'll be the first to get notified. Guys, first off, let's take a look at the weekly levels on the totals on the total 3. Now we are seeing a lot of downtrend. Let me quickly switch up to the weekly level. Now we're seeing a lot of downtrend, bearish candlestick. One thing I said when I did my analysis on this altcoin chart is that whenever price creates something like this, create a large wick like this, 80% to 70% of the time price always comes down gradually to fill out these wicks, because a lot of people that manipulated the price, the big ways that manipulated the price, needs to get this price lower and cheaper, and once they are done manipulating the price, it creates this wick and they start gradually placing orders, then start gradually filling their bags. So that's what I said last time, that we might fill out this wick right here before we actually move on to the upside. So you can see that this is a perfect and actual resistance level on the total 3. We rejected around 1.1 trillion dollars. Right now we are at 833 billion. If I switch over to the pull up the stochastic RSI, now you guys could see that this thing is it has gone flat. You can see that the stochastic RSI is pretty much oversold at the moment. As you can see that last time the stochastic RSI was oversold, we saw a massive pump afterward, which created these moves right here. And we could see the previous chart. You could see the previous chart during 2022 stroke 2023, when we had that little pump on Bitcoin and altcoins. You could see that when it got flat, oversold, we rode our way towards the upside. So I think that is currently what's in play right now for Bitcoin, for altcoins. As you can see that we are probably oversold and we've gone flat, but there is a possibility that we could see a little bit of a downside to as it fill out these support levels, these demand levels over here, before we actually see a pump on altcoins. We could see something like this, a bit of sideways movement, then before an actual continuation. I think when we start seeing a pump, when we gradually see a pump, this resistance level is not going to be much of a burden for us, because we've actually rejected multiple times on this level. And when we see price hitting against a support or a resistance repeatedly, it means that resistance or support wall is getting weaker. And I think the next time we see a price go towards this level, then we could see an actual pump on altcoin. So let me quickly switch down to the daily time frame. Let me switch down to the daily time frame. And now this is the daily time frame on the total 3. Right now it seems as if we want to see a breakout at the moment, but if we virtually see a breakout without filling out these levels, that will be good and massive for altcoins, because it will be proper, and it will be time for us to see a proper altcoin pump. You can see that this is the descending wedge we'll be holding. We actually had multiple touches, 1 2 3 touches on this trend. Right now we're having the 4th touch. If we actually see a break above this down sloping trend, then the next target will be the 1.1 trillion dollar. But if not, then there might be reasons for us to actually test this level, go sideways over a couple of days or weeks before we actually see a pump. And I think 2026 is going to be massive for altcoin. Any dip that we are seeing now might probably be manipulation, because I don't think we are actually going to head over to the bear market, because altcoins has not pumped, Ether number of Sol has not pumped, your lower caps privacy coins has not yet pumped. So I think any dump that we're seeing now will actually be the best opportunity to actually accumulate more. So let's quickly flip over to the orders versus D. This orders versus this orders dot D is actually the chart I used to analyze the lower cap odds, because according to my study, whenever I see a pump on the orders.d, I actually see your lower cap tokens pump really hard. So this is what we had during the 2020 to 2021 odd season, when we saw altcoins break out of the trend, slowly move towards the outside. Then we saw a smack to the downside, and afterwards during January 2021 we saw a massive pump for altcoins, and that's what I think 2026 January we start seeing a pump on altcoins. And we had this pump during 2021 throughout the year. Starting from 4th of January, we had this pump on altcoins where most coins were doing 10,000%. We saw Shiba Inu, we saw Doge. You can see that before we actually flipped bearish, we actually created a high before the actual dump, and we rode that 2021 till the ending of the year. And I think that is what is actually going to happen. History is definitely going to repeat itself, because on a normal scale this 2025 would have marked the end of the bull market, the end of hot season. Then we flip to the bear market, but because of institutions coming into the game, they tried to delay and confuse the retail traders. And I think 2026 is going to be massive for odds. And right now we might see a little bit of downside on your odds then before actually see a pump, because I was actually looking at this level, this support level right here, because we actually had a bounce. This was when we had a bounce during 2021, and I think that we might react positively if price eventually gets to this level. We might see a sharp dump, then a parabolic move breaking above this trend. And when we start seeing a pump on the orders versus the majority of your low caps, newer tokens, we start pumping massively, and the meme coins will start gaining traction. So you don't want to sleep on this analysis that I'm doing right now, and I think this will be massive for altcoins. And the next chart that we're going to be looking at is the Bitcoin dominance. Let me switch over to the BTC dominance. And why are we looking at the Bitcoin dominance? It's important for us to look at the Bitcoin dominance because it gives us a criteria of what will happen next. Because when there is actually an increase on the BTC dominance, altcoins do not get that much of a traction, do not get that much of a pump. And right now, we currently broke down of this ascending which they were seeing that we'll be pumping since November 2022. We could see that since when we start pumping on the BTC dominance, BTC started pumping, and we've not seen much of a pullback on BTC, and BTC has breaking highs. Right now, there needs to be a shift. There needs to be profit taking on BTC, and we need to see much capital flow into odds. And what I think will happen next is that we might see a little bit of a push on the BTC dominance to these levels, retesting this trend over before we actually see a dump. And when we actually see a dump on the BTC dominance, altcoin pump even harder. It doesn't necessarily mean that when we see a pump on BTC dominance that BTC might pump. We might see BTC move sideways or even dump slowly, while altcoins will dump harder. So that's what I think. I think when we actually see a pump on BTC, retesting this trend as resistance before we actually have a pullback, BTC might just move sideways or dump slowly, while altcoins we dump harder. And I think when we actually clear these levels over here on the BTC dominance, we might actually see a massive pump for altcoins. We just need BTC dominance to retest this level as resistance, then come back down to break this support right here. Then we head our way towards the downside, then we could see a massive parabolic altcoin. So that is it for this analysis, guys. So if you've not subscribed to my channel, do make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification icon for more crypto price update, for more analysis like this. And also don't forget, if you want to join my free Telegram community where I drop free trading signals and actual crypto updates, do make sure to follow the link in the description below. Peace.